Hi everybody, thanks for watching this. I wanted to tell you this is a little time sensitive. Greetings dear ones, I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. In this room, there is an energy that has been set carefully. Before you ever arrived, we knew you were coming. We've spoken of things that are hard to imagine to any human being who even begins to think in a linear fashion. And I want to talk a little bit more about that today. This is the final meeting, and the energy has been set. How many souls are here? What is the definition of soul? Do angels have souls? All of these could be answered in one concept. Everything from God, anything from the creative source that has sentience, intelligence, is part of one soul group. And the soul group is that which is the creative source of God. Have you ever thought of how big God is? That which you call the creative source, that which created the universe, so vast that a human can't really comprehend it, knows your name. This source is so many and yet one. And even that is so difficult for any human to conceptualize. How can it be so big yet so small? How can it be so big as to create the universe, so small as to live in your heart? How can it be so many when there's really only one consciousness of love that you feel? It seems to be a dichotomy, but only when you begin to analyze it from what you think you know. You start to look at the whole idea of a soul. It's been mentioned even this day. So I'd like to expand on it only briefly and in a way that's covered and saturated with love. This God that you think is so big, it could not even ever know you, is so small that God knows every single puzzle that you can have right now as you sit in the chairs or listen to this channel. What kind of consciousness could be in so many places at once, know so much? Does it ever occur to you that sometimes the synchronicities that happen are because there are so many of it, called God, that work together for all of you? Is it possible that so many things that you have asked for and desire are actually synchronicities of the coherence of the many, creating the synchronicities for all of you? Could it be that there is a circle of love, of compassion, something that you haven't really thought of before, that is beyond the one and really is for all of you? Kryon, you talked in circles. How can I explain this so that it makes so much sense to you? So let me start with the one, you. There is one soul, you think. It has your name. And this one soul is the same one that has been with you every single lifetime. So over and over and over, there is the one. And yet we've all told so many things about souls. When I say we all have told, I mean the ones who channel for you and with you. The teachers all have told you that there is so much more than the one in your soul. Today my partner asked the question, if you have a higher self, is that a separate soul? And you would say, no, it's part of my soul. And yet the higher self is also present on the other side of the veil. So how can it be in two places, in two-dimensional realities at the same time? And the answer is that your higher self then becomes a bridge. So you have the part of your soul which is corporeal and also innate and also etheric, that invades, if you want to use that term, your body. It invades it because it literally wants to conquer every single cell with the beauty of God, if you let it. Every single human, however, has free choice, a duality that then works between the worlds of dark and light. That is the soul that you know, the one that is inside you, but also the one that is higher, is connected to God. That means that there is a group going on even within you. We'll call it a soul group. Now this soul group is then connected to a bigger group, which is on the other side of the veil, which you call God. Now we have said that the God that you then think of is trillions strong. Trillions of what? Well, it would be parts of God that connect to your soul. One consciousness broken into trillions of parts that all know one another, that work together. And what are those trillions of parts doing? Well, some of them are connected to other higher selves in the room, on the planet, on other planets. Now, where am I going with this? I would like to bring up a concept for the first time, and we're going to call it soul coherence. What if it was possible for your soul and your higher self, all of the connections to the other side of the veil, to become coherent? If you could draw a line of energy that would be through you and your compassion and your intent, through your higher self, all the way to the other side of the veil, perhaps touching another higher self of another soul, coming right back into their body, in this room, on the other side of the planet, or to even other planets that had humans like you. What would then happen if here in this room you decided to connect the coherence between humans? I'll tell you something. If you do that, you've created a circle. You don't even have to touch each other, because the physics of consciousness is the touchy part. And when that happens, you have something which completes the circle of soul coherence, which allows things that you didn't expect. That's the answer to synchronicities that happen, that you cannot plan, but that happen because you intend them. There's soul coherence between groups of individuals and individuals, creating what can only be called magic, because things happen that in reality shouldn't happen. Kryon, what are you talking about? I'm talking about something bigger than you know. I'm talking outside of your reality. I'm talking about master numbers that have not yet been defined or completed. I'm talking about graduate consciousness that someday will know all about the physics of soul coherence and will understand for the first time that you are connected to the creative source of everything. It will blur the line between human and sacred. It will start to explain the unexplainable. And in that, there will be an understanding of the compassion of God being the compassion of humanity. And how the circle is connected in such a way that it runs through your Akash. It runs through the things that are mysterious. And they all start snapping into place, into a coherence that will make total sense. Not now, maybe, but I gave you a glimpse into what is coming. When you leave this place, many of you will think to yourselves, how can I remember all that has been talked about, all that has been presented and said? I resounded to so much of it, but when I leave the room, somehow it seems to evaporate into that which I should remember, but I don't. So I'll give you the secret of soul coherence. There were no secrets given today. All the things that were given were known. And that doesn't then evaporate into the ethers. Where did it come from? It came from the mind of God. All of it delivered to each speaker, each channeler. In a linear fashion, it was given to you to absorb. But it started with the mind of God. And if you believe in soul coherence, that still exists. All the information, everything that was discussed, couched in something called the compassion of God. When you leave here, all you have to do is rekindle that compassion. Call upon it if you wish. The coherence that is yours through your higher self into that which is on the other side of the veil, which is a complete mystery, but beautiful. You can feel it. It has all the information that was presented today exactly as it was presented. That's where it came from. And little by little, it comes right back to you. You don't have to use your brain to remember. You have to use all that is not your brain. The pineal, the intuition, the beauty, the compassion. Call it whatever you want to. Kindle that love connection with the creative source, and all these things will come back to you. Intent, if you wish. Dear Spirit, give me the things that were presented today that I resounded with as I need them. Let me resound with them as I walk day by day, because I'm connected to where they came from. I have soul coherence, you might think and say, and you'd be right. You ever wonder if two people can have what almost is one soul? They don't. They have their own pieces, and yet some of them can be so connected that they call themselves soulmates. And they don't have to be different genders. All they have to have is compassion, one for another, in any situation that would lead them to soul coherence. And that, my good friends, my dearest human soul friends, is the answer to a planet without war. Soul coherence starts to be something you expect from country to country, and the individuals in those countries feeling the compassion for one another, literally peering into each other's souls in a way that's beyond anything you can imagine today. It gives them something that they never have seen on this planet, where no human being would ever consider hurting another, because you realize you're one. It's coming. But for now, when you leave, I want you to call upon it. Call upon it for what resounded to you today that you want more of. Because it's there. It didn't go away. Everything presented stays. All you have to do is cognize the fact that you can call on it. It belongs to you because you're part of the group. Is this too mysterious? Don't analyze it. Don't intellectualize it. You can't analyze and intellectualize love. It just is. And it's more beautiful. And in so many places, you can find it anywhere. When I started channeling with my partner, one of the things that we said over and over is that you can climb into the closet and shut the door and pretend you're alone. And there'll be trillions of us in there with you. You can't get away from the love of God. And so it is.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching this. I wanted to tell you this is a little time sensitive.